It didn't happen during a financial emergency. No overdue bills. No dramatic wake-up call. It happened on a quiet night. She stood alone in her kitchen, lights dim, phone in hand, scrolling through her bank app. Everything looked fine. Money came in. Bills were paid. Nothing was technically wrong, but something felt off. If you've ever felt that strange mix of comfort and anxiety at the same time, you know the feeling. The sense that money is moving, but you're not fully in control of it. That it's working, yet somehow exhausting. She wasn't struggling. She just wasn't calm. That night, she remembered a short video she'd seen online. A Japanese mom talking about simple living. No extreme budgeting. No guilt. Just fewer decisions, less waste, and more peace. And a quiet question surfaced. What if the problem isn't how much you earn, but how you live? So she decided to run an experiment. Japanese-style frugal living for 30 days. She didn't expect it to change much. She was wrong. The problem you're living with, but rarely name. Here's the truth most people don't admit. You are probably not bad with money. You're just tired. Tired of small expenses stacking up. Tired of convenience costing more than it should. Tired of subscriptions, delivery fees, and quick fixes quietly draining your energy. This is the modern money problem. It doesn't shout. It hums in the background of your life. One-click shopping, buy now, pay later buttons, food apps that promise relief when you're exhausted. None of these feel expensive alone. Together, they create constant low-level stress. In many places, frugal living is sold as restriction. No joy, no treats, no flexibility. But Japanese frugal living comes from a different place. It isn't about cutting everything. It's about choosing with intention, spending with awareness instead of speed. So the uncomfortable question becomes, what if money stress isn't caused by not having enough, but by living too fast to notice where it goes? Japanese frugal living didn't start as a lifestyle trend. It grew from history, memory, and respect. After World War II, many families rebuilt from almost nothing. Waste wasn't just costly, it felt wrong. Over time, this mindset shaped daily habits. Food was used fully. Objects were cared for. Space was respected. There's a quiet idea behind it called mottainai. It describes the discomfort of wasting something that still has value. Not guilt, awareness. Even today, in a modern and highly developed society, many Japanese households still plan meals carefully, repair items before replacing them, and avoid excess, not because they lack money, but because they don't need more. For this mom, learning that history shifted something. She wasn't adopting rules. She was borrowing a calmer idea of enough. Week 1. The shock. Spending without buying less. The first week surprised her almost immediately. She didn't stop spending. She didn't slash her budget. She didn't say no to everything. The number of items she bought barely changed. What changed was the speed. Instead of popping into stores just to look, she planned one intentional grocery trip. Instead of ordering takeout the moment she felt tired, she paused and checked what was already at home. Half-used sauces, forgotten vegetables, ingredients waiting quietly. Japanese households don't chase new things. They finish what already exists. At first, this felt uncomfortable. Slower choices meant more awareness. And awareness can feel heavy when you're not used to it. Then something unexpected happened. Her spending became quieter. No rush. No regret. No late-night second-guessing. She stopped opening shopping apps out of boredom. Convenience stopped feeling like a reward for exhaustion. You might recognize this truth. The urge to buy isn't always about need. Sometimes it's about relief. By the end of week 1, she noticed something that had nothing to do with money. Her mind felt lighter. She hadn't bought less. She had bought with intention. Here is the invisible win nobody talks about. Week 2 delivered a win almost no one mentions. Time. Not more hours in the day, fewer tiny decisions draining her attention. No endless browsing. No last-minute store runs. No mental back and forth over what to buy or replace. Japanese-style frugal living quietly reduces decision fatigue. When spending becomes intentional, your brain finally gets to rest. She felt it in ordinary moments. Mornings were calmer. Evenings were slower. Meals were simpler, yet more satisfying. Her kids noticed too. Instead of asking, "Can we buy this?" they started asking, "What do we already have?" They helped plan meals. They learned that value isn't always tied to price. This wasn't about becoming minimalist. It was about rhythm, predictability, a sense that life didn't need constant upgrading. Here's what surprised her most. Money stopped feeling like a problem to solve. It started feeling like a tool she understood. And with that clarity came something rare in modern life: mental quiet. That quiet felt powerful. Week 3 is where everything changed. Not in her bank account, but in how she saw herself. She realized she was no longer trying to keep up, not with neighbors, not with social media, not with the unspoken pressure to always be upgrading something: clothes, phones, experiences. There were moments that tested this shift. A birthday party where other parents arrived with big gifts. A group chat buzzing about weekend plans that cost more than she felt comfortable spending. Before, she would have stretched her budget quietly, just to avoid feeling awkward. This time, she didn't. Japanese frugal living teaches something subtle. You don't owe anyone an explanation for living simply. Politeness doesn't require overspending. Confidence can be quiet. She chose thoughtful gifts instead of expensive ones. She suggested simpler plans. And something unexpected happened. No one judged her. In fact, some people seemed relieved. This is the part most money advice misses. A lot of spending isn't about desire. It's about belonging, about avoiding the feeling that you are falling behind. By week 3, she felt grounded, less reactive, less influenced by what everyone else was doing. Frugality stopped feeling like sacrifice and started feeling like self-respect. You might feel this too if you slow down long enough. When spending aligns with your values, comparison loses its power. That freedom was worth more than any discount. By week 4, she expected to see changes in her bank balance. And yes, the numbers looked better. Fewer impulse buys, less wasted food, no random spending she couldn't explain. But that wasn't the result that stayed with her. The real change was emotional. She felt steady. Money no longer created background noise in her mind. She wasn't constantly planning her next purchase or worrying about her next expense. Decisions felt slower, but stronger. She also noticed how much she trusted herself. Before, spending often came with regret. Now, when she bought something, it felt deliberate, useful, worth it. That trust changed how she approached everything, from groceries to long-term plans. Japanese-style frugal living didn't make her feel deprived. It made her feel capable. Even her sense of enough shifted. She stopped asking, "Can we afford this?" and started asking, "Does this add value to our life?" That single question filtered out a surprising amount of noise. If you're expecting a dramatic transformation, this might sound small, but small changes done consistently reshape how you live. She didn't become richer in 30 days. She became calmer, clearer, and more in control. And that, she realized, was the result nobody had warned her about, but everyone secretly wants. This video isn't asking you to live like someone else. It's not about copying Japanese culture or turning your life upside down in 30 days. It's about borrowing a way of thinking that feels lighter in a noisy world. Ask yourself a few honest questions. What feels rushed in your life right now? What do you keep buying because it feels easier, not because it truly helps? Japanese-style frugal living starts small. One habit, one pause before spending, one decision made with intention instead of pressure. You don't need a strict budget to begin. You need awareness. When you slow down, money stops feeling like something that controls you. It becomes something you guide, something that supports your life instead of draining your energy. This isn't about having less. It's about choosing better. And in a time when everything pushes you to want more, choosing enough might be the most powerful decision you make. 30 days later, she stood in the same kitchen, same walls, same family, same income, but the feeling was different. There was no tightness in her chest as she checked her phone, no silent worry about where the money went, just a calm sense of knowing what mattered, knowing what was enough. She hadn't mastered money. She had made peace with it. That was the quiet win, not a dramatic lifestyle change, not a viral transformation, just a lighter way of living that felt sustainable, even comforting. If you're feeling overwhelmed by money without knowing why, maybe the answer isn't earning more or cutting harder. Maybe it's slowing down long enough to listen, because sometimes the biggest changes don't announce themselves. They simply make life feel easier, and that's how you know they're real. Now, if you want to learn how to achieve financial success, then watch this video next.